Hello friends, it's Julie Norman, and today we're going to migrate from my old planner cover, Traveler's Notebook cover, into my new one. And this is the one I picked from the unboxing video that I showed you the last video. The reason why I am migrating is that this cover has got a bit of wear here, and it's all fading and coming apart, and I use these old covers to put my previous journals in, so this will be an archive one. So I've used it to the best of my ability until it just looks a bit worn, and it will still continue to have a future use, so I'm not throwing it away. By the way, my name is Julie Norman, and I put out planner and planner related videos on Tuesdays and Fridays, and we're here in my office today. My dog is walking around. You might hear his nails tapping along on the floor, but he likes to be in the same room when I video because that's what dogs do. Good boy. This is the journal that I picked out of the Carpe Diem. This is a traveler's notebook in a wide or standard size. And this old one was something I got on clearance at Hobby Lobby, and it was from the Paper Studio. There's a small stamp. It's really light, hard to see. And I just got this one on clearance from the Carpe Diem company, and this is the typewriter floral journal. It's one I picked. I like that it's bright and pretty, and that it's got the words, and it could look wintry. I think it could. So let's pull it apart. Get rid of the little silica gel. Just to show you, it comes with a notebook. I'm not going to use this one right now. I'm just going to put this aside in my store of inserts for later. And this one has a dark interior, as opposed to this one has the patterned interior. There are 4 elastic strings, and there are 4 pockets here, and pockets in here, pockets in there, flap, pen loop, and the outside, same as front and back basically. Elastic closure. I do like the elastic closure. Oops, got a peek of something there. I actually started to migrate this off camera just on my own, and then some things happened that I thought you might be interested in, because we've been on this journey together of working with our Traveler's Notebook. When I did the Planner Contentment series, I was able to really zero in on what was best for me, which is the Traveler's Notebook. And that has really helped me to find this freedom within this family of the style here. And I said in a previous video that there is beauty in boundaries, and that is so true, because I have found my boundary is the Traveler's Notebooks. And instead of looking at all of those pre-made journals that is like a 1 book a year or a quarter or whatever, or the discbound or the binder, there are so many out there. I know that my freedom is within this boundary, and there are so many options within this one boundary. So there's freedom to hone in, to know that whatever I pick and whatever I want to play with, this is really my style. So that happens, like if your thing is a binder, then there are so much freedom in that. There's so many options, so many makers, there's so many styles, and then maybe your freedom is within the boundary of a pre-made journal. And there's so many styles and options and colors and sizes, and so many ways you can decorate and make each of these styles your own. So that's what I mean by I'm finding more freedom. The more I hone down my method and what works best for me, the more I find freedom. Isn't that kind of weird? That the more I can find my choices, the more that I can flourish within it. It kind of seems contradictory, but it's not. So let me tell you a little bit about how I did this. I'm just going to go through. Now in the front, I have this little index card that has my contact information, and I'm not going to show it to you. I have it face down. I'm just going to tuck it inside. Now I have had my mileage log tucked into here, but the thing is that I only go out maybe once a week to use this. So I'm actually going to pull this out, and I'm going to set it aside and only take this out when I go out. And actually I could probably just stick this in my car. The only problem is sometimes I take the other car, but maybe I'll just stick this in my car. So I'm going to set this one aside. Now this has been my weekly spreads, the books that I made myself. Now what I'm finding about this, because there's not much going on, I have a lot of wasted space here. A lot of this stuff isn't getting filled in. I don't even use half of the page. So I'm feeling like I'm carrying around all this empty space and I'm not using it. Now, things can change again where things will speed up and I will need that space. But right now, I maybe just need to jot a couple notes down per day. Maybe there's one thing or two things happening, but usually there's not much. And then I have my future one that will take me into 2020. So oops. By the way, this is perforated pages, and you just saw one perforate itself. Huh, that's interesting. So I'm just going to take these out, and I'm going to set them aside because I have done something different with my calendar, and I'm going to show you that after we migrate the rest. So put those aside as well. Now here's I'm still in October journal. Like I said, I go at my own pace, and I thought I only had a week left. But I actually have more. Here's my colored pencil. Oh, here, I finished editing my video for Tuesday, so I can do that. So yes, I do record ahead of time because it helps me to pace it and if I have to make corrections. I really love using my colored pencils as my highlighters. So I'm going to move this in here into my third string. So there's that. And then I've got an archive journal that I have put in. I don't think you've seen this one before. Yes, I turned off the light because it was adding shadows, and I think I've got enough natural light coming in from the outside. We've got snow again. It just does like a couple inches, but it makes everything brighter. Now the archive journal, what I mean by that is that it's things that I want to have with me longer than a month. So something like I have a book wish list, and I'm not going to want to transfer that every month into my new journal. I've got travel wish lists. I've got my own. And there are some, such as things like that I want to keep on hand. And there's also a restaurant or takeouts. And what did we like there? I don't remember. So I want to keep that. And I'm going to put that in the back because that will go after my weekly. And then my last one that I have in my cover, my old cover, is my contact book. And once again, because I'm not going out much, this book doesn't get used. And I think I could just leave this on my desk. I don't need to carry it with me when I go places. So I'm going to set that one aside too. I'm going to put that on my desk. So now this is empty and it can be used as an archive journal. And there we go. So now what do we have left in here is basically not much because I am redoing things. So I have just the two inserts, my monthly journal or my continual journal that I change out often, and then my archive. So I need to put a calendar in here since I'm not going to be using these anymore. What I was thinking is that I went down the rabbit hole last weekend looking at junk journals, altered books, and I love the creativity of that process. And there are people who make junk journals for their traveler's notebooks, and it really kind of opened my eyes up to not having to add more pockets, add more stuff, add some style, compartments, different features to your journals. I'm probably not going to be the person that sits there for hours and glues and staples and sews, even though I admire that. But I was thinking, for these calendars, I know that I am good with just having the week spread. I don't need to see the month at a glance. I do have a wall calendar that both my husband and I use for that in the kitchen back there. So I just need to have the weekly spreads. So I was thinking, wouldn't it be fun if I made little pockets inside the cover of my notebooks, and I made it like a matchbook. Like my weekly things would be a matchbook. So it's stapled at the bottom and you have a fold over flap. And so I thought, well, that's fun, and I can use up some old papers. So I found some old papers from a previous Silk and Sonder that I didn't finish. And it's just a wonderful cream color, and I've got the grids and all kinds of styles. So I made those, and here is what I made. Now this is, I stapled at the bottom, and I've got 2 months in here. So I've got November and December, and then I made January, February, and March and April, although I have to put some more pages in April. So I basically took my Silk and Sonder. So the Silk and Sonder format is like this. So I basically just took it apart and I cut off the edge here, and then I cut it in half, and that is the size of this. Because I thought that would work, and I just put 1 week, start from Sunday to Saturday, and I cut it down a little bit so it would fit into my cover. And then something magical happened. I love how when this happens, is I went into here and I thought, well, now I can figure out where I'm going to make my pocket, and I opened this up and I thought, look at this. It fits perfectly in my inside pocket. I love it. And I can fit 2 of these packets in each one. So I can have 4 months in this pocket and then 4 months in another one. That's 8 months. That's probably all I really need to go ahead on. If I go any taller, it's going to go past the height. So let's see here. It does fit in there well. But this is wonderful because, oops, just wait a second. I put the wrong one in the front. Okay, so I'm going to put these in the front. But what I love about this is I can see this at a glance. And so these are the 3 things I wanted to remember here. Tomorrow I'm going to go to knitting, and I have to stop at CVS for some things. So what I love about it is it's just at a glance, and I can flip through. I don't have to go and open my calendar. Not that it's hard to do, but I love the thought that it's just tucked right in the front. I'm almost tempted to subscribe to Silk and Sonder again so I can get more of the paper. But I digress. I have a lot of paper. I don't need more. So I was really happy with that. That is going to be my new way of doing my calendar, and until I need more room. I just love that little pocket idea of tucking things in places and not have to have like a just flat paper. So it's really kind of expanded, changed a lot of my thinking. Like I said before, I have unsubscribed from Planet Perfect. I am still working on that video, guys. There's a lot to think about why I'm breaking up with them. But because I have said no, I'm not going to be, using just or mostly your stuff. It has really kind of left me adrift. What I'm going to use now, what are in the notebooks. There are so many options, and I do appreciate every one of your suggestions. There are different sizes I want to try, but it has really kind of just expanded my thinking. So that is what I'm going to do. Now this is where I would have normally put my calendars in, but I do need something that would be a temporary book. So I took out one of these new ones that I got from Carpe Diem. They're just the little ones that come inside. This one, such as this one that you saw, was inside my cover. Ironically, I have a cover that's pink polka dot, which came with the checkered, black and white checked, but the black and white checkered came with the pink polka dot. So I didn't plan this, but I thought I pulled this out and I used, I'm going to use this as my temporary list. So I've got like things that I need to do. I have got my grocery list. I'm looking at getting an Instant Pot air fryer, so I was listing my pros and cons. And so the temporary things, which they don't really matter to me. I only need it maybe for a week or 2, maybe not quite a month. Will go in here, and they don't need to be precious. This isn't a precious book. It is one that is basically a notebook or a little notepad that is something that I just need to write something down to remember it. I don't need to include it in my forever journals. And when I'm done with it, it's gone. So that's what I have. I've got these 3 books. I've got my calendar matchbook style. I never did add the cover to it because I just like it like this. And then I can also, with this, move things out. So when this week is over, I can tear this off. And then I can keep revolving things. So I can keep putting, when this book is used up, I can add another one back. It just can be continual revolving because, I don't like to carry my past around. I've got my journal and then this. So when I did my November setup, I had shown you the Rooster Journal. And I really want to use this guy because he's so pretty, and I'm moving out of Planet Perfect, so I want to use him up. And how I have all my tracking set up. This is the first time I had set up all this tracking, remember? It's not working for me. I'm really failing at NaNoWriMo. I got sick last week, and I thought I had the plague, but I didn't. I'm okay. This, I have only done the elliptical a few times, only tracked my sleep twice, and we're nearing the mid-month, guys. And then this, I'm not really enjoying this. I probably should have known that this was just too dialed down for me. And then my bingo is going to, okay. But I think what I'm finding about these things is that if I don't have them out in front of me, if I have to go into the journal and look them up all the time, I'm going to out of sight, out of mind. So I'm actually thinking about taking these out of my journal and putting them up on my wall so I can see it and go, oh yeah, at a glance. So it's right in front of me. So these trackings are not working for me. So what I did is I thought, well, with this, I really did enjoy the Silk and Sonder. So what I did here was I had one of these trackers, and now the Heroes Journal has a printable tracker that they don't mind if you keep printing, which I think is great, and I might be able to size it so I can keep using this. So I just put, all I need is this, and when I'm done with this, I can put it into my health tracker journal, so I can have a continuing overview of how I did all the time, and take it out of here, because I think that would be more useful for me. So this is for tracking my type 1 diabetes things, my autoimmune stuff, my pain tracker. I'm just going to use colored pencils to track in the colors, and it's just removable. I can move this easily from journal to journal. And then I have over here my little guide to where to place the insulin next, where to prick my finger in next. So this is nice because I was feeling like I had to use this journal up. We are about in the middle of November, and that's probably when I'm going to finish this journal. And I was feeling the pressure to move into this guide because he's got all my trackers in it, and for November. And I was thinking, I gotta hurry up and get into here so I can actually use it during November. But I should have known to let myself be more fluid. And that's just beginning to know myself more. And you will learn yourself too better as you go. It's not like you're gonna boom have a planner and everything's going to fall into place naturally. And that doesn't usually work. You usually have to hone in a little bit more. And your life changes too. Like for me, my life has changed a lot this last year with my health issues and the pandemic. So there's a lot less going on. More of things are at home. Now if I had a job out of the house, I probably wouldn't be doing all of this in this method. It's just that, you know, things would change. So that is okay. We have different seasons in life. So that is my migration into this book. I am so excited about this. It just fits me well. If you've watched me for a while, you know that my calendar pages are not precious to me. They're not something I need to archive. What I do want to archive are things like this, my book of days, basically. My little journaling and notes and dreams and hopes that I want to remember and look back on. And I have started to look back on things too. I was actually inspired by a journal last year to go back to doing something I did then, and maybe I'll show you that. Maybe that'll be my PS today. So that is my migration into this journal, and you can see it's a lot less bulky. Oh, speaking of bulk, look at now, Planner Perfect I mentioned before is they're bulkier, they're more robust. Now granted, this notebook is maybe half the size, but look at the difference in how bulky they are. So I mean, even if you put 2 or 3 of these together, they're not going to quite equal the thickness as a Planner Perfect. And I think I'm going to like to go to a thinner paper style because I'm not really using the paper for painting or whatever. I just need something that doesn't bleed through and doesn't ghost a lot. And I am giving the Toma River paper a try, which is this one. I should have mentioned that before. This is the Paper Penguin Toma, somebody tell me how to pronounce it, paper quality. And it's a really thin paper, but it has pretty good no bleed through. It's just holds the paper up very good. And this is the Planner Perfect, and this one is from Carpe Diem. So there you go. Thank you for watching. I hope this inspires you to kind of take a second look at what you're doing, hone in a little bit more, have freedom in your boundaries, and have a joyful day. Goodbye. Okay guys, I was putting things away when I thought I better mention one more thing, so I'm just holding this camera, it's not on my tripod. But these 2 books that have my weekly spreads, now you might think, now I'm wasting these books, now what am I going to do with that? No, I'm actually going to set them aside, because this is what happens, and I've noticed my pattern is that I like to change things out. So it's quite possible that my matchstick cover calendar may fail me, and then I will move back into one of these. But because not all this paper, some of this paper I will reuse in something else. Like I said, I might start making my own traveler's notebook out of a junk journal, like various pieces of paper and arts and stuff, so none of this will go to waste. I just wanted to mention that I'm just not throwing these away, but they will be used again in some form, whether it is the way they are or being altered. P.S. I've inspired myself, like I mentioned in my video, of something that I did last year that I was reminded about. I forgot about that I did this, and I enjoyed it last fall, and that is called the candle method, and I made this up myself. And there's probably variations because, of course, nothing really is new, but it's just something that I adjusted for me. And I was looking at my goals for which one was this? This was November last year. And I had this where each day I'm going to light 5 candles. And the first one is because I made sure make sure all the critters were checked. Then I did laundry, did the dishes and cleared the island. Then time with God, cleaning, whatever, health focus, clear the desk, research and write. And so I divided them up into 5 candles, the things that I want to make sure that I do every day. And that is something that I was like, oh, I really like that because I love candles. And it's getting into the dark times and they're cheerful. So this is what I made up for this year, my candle method. And this is some of this sticker was from the antiquarian sticker book. Okay, these are casting shadows. I'm going to move them out. That was just for props. So I'm going to do a load of laundry, do writing sprints, because NaNoWriMo is not going well for me because I got sick and I'm sidetracked. I'm really behind. But I do want to finish my draft, get the kitchen clear, do some shopkeeping because I not only have some online shops, I have a shop booth in an antique store, and then then whatever else I have, like the tasks and stuff. So I'm gonna do like 5 candles a day, and you might think that's a lot, but I have a lot of candles, and they'll be placed around the house in different places. Maybe one will be in my office, one will be in the kitchen, maybe one in the living room. So by the time the end of the day comes along, we'll have these cheerful candles. And it'll give me an excuse to buy more when they go on clearance and sale. So that is the candle method, and maybe that'll inspire you to, maybe if you don't like candles and flames, maybe there's something else that you'd like to do. Maybe you have the 5 sticker method. You get 5 stickers a day, or maybe you get like the 5 cup of coffees. Okay, maybe you not do 5 cups of coffee, or whatever. I'm sure you could think of something that inspires you and brightens your day. Thank you for watching to the end, guys, and have a joyful day. Goodbye.